Good evening, afternoon, everyone,
Hello.
wherever you may be. So today we're going to use a block. So this is the block that we're going to use, either of these. However, you can really use anything that will help prop you up. So the point of this is just going to be as you're folding and maybe you can't reach the floor, you'll want to use a block to extend for your body. So if you have, just a random box of some sort or something, even paper towel roll, if you are struggling with flexibility, you need to be a bit higher. Just anything to help you reach for the ground. So please do go ahead and grab something. Of course, if you're extremely flexible, you may not need anything, but most people will prefer to use something at some point. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and just settle into our seated position. So wherever that is for you, that could be cross-legged, sitting on your bum, letting your ankles align, taking the knees wide. If you're in that stance, maybe you want a pillow beneath you to help prop up your hips and tilt your pelvis a bit. That'll help you keep your spine flat. Mark's preferring to sit on his knees. That's where he's finding comfortable today. So whatever works for you, just find a seat. From there, go ahead and let the eyes close. And just start tuning into your breath. So initially, we just want to observe just how we're feeling, how the breath is entering and exiting. And then from there, we're going to want to try to deepen the breath. So start envisioning this air entering the belly, expanding, letting that rise, coming up towards the rib cage, maybe the collarbone, and exhaling, letting all of that air recede naturally out of the body. Go ahead and keep breathing in this fashion, leading with the belly on the inhales, letting everything recede on the exhales. With every inhale, as these nutrients enter the body, the oxygen, nourishing your cells, just envision everything you don't need releasing as you exhale, leaving the body. Releasing everything from the day, releasing any unneeded tension or stress. As you continue through this breathing, just scan your body for any tension, trying to release that one breath at a time. With the eyes closed, gaze at the center of your forehead, at the third eye, allowing that to lengthen through the crown. Our body is relaxed here, but we have to have slight engagement in order to maintain this strong, erect posture. Take another deep inhale into the belly, letting that air expand and rise all the way up to the collarbone. And as you exhale, just part the lips and sigh. Let's do that again. Breathing deep into the belly. And whenever you're ready to exhale, part the lips and sigh. We'll take another deep inhale. And this time with the mouth closed, sigh through the nose as you exhale. Reverse sigh in, sucking the air through the nose with very slight constriction on the back of the throat for your Ujjayi breath. And exhale through the nose. And keep breathing in this fashion. This is our Ujjayi, our powerful breath, heating the air as it enters the body. On the next exhale, let's go ahead and bring the hands together at the heart center. And we'll set an intention for our practice, whatever that might be for you. That could be positivity, focus, love, anything, whatever works for you today. letting the eyes gently drift open. If you're seated as Mark is, go ahead and come to your seated on your bum with your legs crossed. If you have anything propped beneath you, remove that now, please. And on our next inhale, let's sit up nice and tall, feeling the length of the spine. And as you exhale, begin to walk your hands forward, maintaining a flat back, breathing into your hip on your inhales and exhales. So don't let your back round here. Stay nice and strong. You can come down as low as is comfortable for you to maintain that flat back. Some people may be able to come all the way down to their forearms. Just see what works for your body. Keep breathing here. Each inhale, you're delivering nutrients to the hip. Oxygen with each exhale, you're releasing that tension, maybe coming just a centimeter or hair deeper. On the next inhale, let's go ahead and walk the hands back up. Bring the hands beside you on the mat. Good. Gaze down at your feet, paying attention to which foot you have in front. Bend the elbows, tilt the torso back, lift with the heart, and extend the feet up to the sky. Go ahead and rotate the ankles, maybe bend and straighten the knees. Just kind of play around here, engage the core. And then we're going to recross the feet, opposite foot is going to be in front. Inhale, lengthening through the crown, straightening the torso. Exhale, walk the hands forward, maintaining the flat back. On the next inhale, walk the hands in. Bring your hands to your knees, and we're just going to create this loose rolling of the torso, just creating circles. So be loose with this, just allow your spine to move. These could be small circles, large circles, whatever feels good to you. So just kind of dip into your subconscious and flow with this. Don't try to control it. And let's go ahead and pause, go in the opposite direction. Good. So let's go ahead and sit up nice and tall one more time, reaching the crown to the sky on your inhale. And as you exhale, let the chin roll down towards the chest. Inhale, let the left ear roll up towards the left shoulder. Exhale, down to center. Inhale, opposite ear rolls up to the opposite shoulder. Exhale, down to center. Let's do that one more time with your own breath. Inhaling, the ear goes up one way. With each exhale, comes down. And let it go the opposite way as well. On the next inhale, bring the head up at the center. And let's just release, roll the shoulders, release the body. And we'll go ahead and make our way onto our hands and knees, facing the front of the mat. We'll go through a couple rounds of cat-cow breathing. Inhaling as the belly drops. Exhaling, tucking, rounding. So as you exhale here, you want to really envision everything lifting at the center of the back. Inhale, let it drop. This is not about craning the head up, it's about lengthening all the way through the neck on your inhales. So again, inhales, you're lengthening, exhales, you're compressing, contracting. With the exhales, you're tucking the tailbone, really pulling the back of the heart up. The inhales, feel the stretch all the way through the front of the belly. Let's do this just one more time. And then we'll come to neutral, flattening the back. Curl the toes under, lift the hips to the sky, coming into your first down dog. So pedal this out, this is your first down dog, so shift your weight around, bend your knees, straighten them, lift the heels, lower them, wag your tail, just kind of do whatever feels natural to you. Good. And then let's take a second to actually build our down dog. So in our down dog, we're gonna open the hands nice and wide, really expanding through all of the fingertips. We're gonna envision the eye of the elbow rotating in, allowing the shoulders to spread apart. The tailbone lifts to the sky. So the heels can either be on the floor or up, depending on your flexibility. The knees can be a little bent or straight, and the feet can be wider or narrower. This is all just dependent on someone's flexibility. So anywhere will work for you. Good. Let's go ahead and shorten our down dog a bit, stepping up maybe a half foot. Good. Bend the left knee and take the left hand and reach it under the body to the outside of the right ankle. So allow yourself to really twist here, twisting towards that leg, allowing the body to really open. Let's go ahead and untwist here, bring that hand back to the mat, and we'll do the other side, bending the right knee, bring the right hand to the outside of the left ankle, allowing yourself to twist. Breathing deep. Bring the hand back to the mat, and we'll walk our feet up towards our hands, and we'll just meet in a dangling forward fold, just releasing. Release the hands, roll the wrists out. And if you'd like, you're welcome to clasp your hands around the elbows and just kind of ragdoll hold here. Just do whatever feels nice to you for a moment. Good. On your next inhale, we're going to come halfway up, forming an L with our body, pressing your hands into your shins. Try to get as close to a 90-degree angle as you can here. So some people may have the flexibility to start walking their hands down their shins, maybe to their ankles or towards the ground. You don't have to be in an L anymore, but you do want to maintain a flat back. So as soon as your back begins to round, you've went too far, so you can come wherever you'd like to be to maintain that flat back. And breathe here. Gaze straight down at the ground so that your neck can stay nice and flat and not kinked up. Exhale, release and fold. Inhale, bend the knees and come all the way up, reaching for the sky, sweeping the hands out. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach the hands up to the sky. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, coming halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, place the hands on the ground, step the feet back, coming into your plank position. Exhale, bend the elbows, forming a 90-degree angle, and lower your body down all the way to the mat. Inhale, just peel the chest off of the mat. So this is our cobra pose. So we'll pause here for a moment and take a few breaths. So this is our back bend that we continuously go through in these salutations. Pausing here. Go ahead and lower the chest down. Walk the hands a little bit closer to your rib cage to bring them back a little bit. Good. And then we'll come up into our upward facing dog, which is our other back bend alternative. So lifting up. In this pose, only the hands and the feet are on the ground. The knees are actually lifted here. It's hard to see because the hands are loose. But this is our upward facing dog. So you can always do cobra, the previous pose, or this pose. And on the exhale, begin to lift with the center of your core, coming into your down dog, rolling over the tops of your feet. Pedal this out. 5 breaths here, deep breaths. Inhaling, deep, exhaling, deep. Try to maintain that even breath. Always lifting the tailbone to the sky. His down dog is great. It just helps to get that little extra pull because we always want to get our hips as high as we can. So I think that's about 5 breaths. So on the next exhale, step, hop, or walk towards the front of your mat, coming into the forward fold as you end your exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the hands all the way up to the sky. Exhale. exhale, hands to heart center. So next we're going to go through a relatively slow B series salutation. So inhale, bend the knees deeply, sweep the hands towards the earth and reach them up to the sky, coming into your chair pose. Exhale, fold, straighten the legs. Inhale, step the feet back, coming into your plank. Skip a little part there, that's okay. Exhale, go through your chaturanga, bend the elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach the right foot up to the sky. Step it between the hands. Lower the back heel down towards the earth. The toes will point at about 45 degrees and come up into your Virabhadrasana 1. Reach the hands to the sky. We'll pause here for a moment. Usually in these salutations you would just come up on your inhale into this and you'd move on, but we're going to pause here and really build this. So make sure the front knee's over the ankle. This back heel doesn't have to be at 45 degrees. That's just a natural stance for a lot of people. It could be pointing out more or toward the front more, but you want to try to get your hips as square as you can here, which is relatively hard to do. It's kind of the challenge in this pose. So do that, and also try to keep your heel as close as you can towards the earth. Breathing. On the next exhale, we're going to bring the hands down towards the front of the mat. Replace the foot with the hand, step the foot back. Keep that foot lifted if that's available to you. Bring it back, bring the foot back. If the foot can stay lifted, do that. If not, you can lower it down, go through your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left foot up to the sky. And then step it under the body, step it between the hands. Lower the back heel down, toes pointing at 45 degrees. Come up for your Virabhadrasana 1. Front knee stays over that ankle, trying to get those hips as square as you can. Facing towards the front of the room. Pressing firm through the foot and the heel. Breathing. If this becomes a lot on your shoulders, you can goal post your arms if that works for you. Whatever feels good. Pausing, breathing. Deep breaths. On the next exhale, bring the hands down to the front of the mat. Replace the foot with the hand. Step the foot back. You can keep it lifted in the sky, or you can lower it to the ground. Coming into your plank. Transition through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe here. So now take your few breaths. Pause. So as we're first beginning to do yoga, downward dog can actually be a pretty intense posture. Once you've been doing it for a while, this is actually, believe it or not, the resting pose, one of the resting poses. So if you're struggling in this, just be patient with yourself. You'll get there. And of course, in any of these, you can always drop to the knees. You can skip these vinyasas as we flow through this kind of reverse push-up and then the back bend. You can skip that altogether and go straight into down dog or drop to the knees if this is becoming too intense for you. On the next exhale, step, hop, or walk to the front of the mat, finishing your exhale as you fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, take a deep bend in the knees, sweep the hands across the earth, come up into your chair pose. Exhale, hands to heart center as you stand. Pause. Let's pause for a few moments. Take a couple breaths. Samasthiti. Just pausing, reflecting, tuning back in. On the next inhale, let's go ahead and reach the hands up to the sky and allow yourself to do a bit of a back bend here. Really lift the heart, roll the shoulders away. And then exhale, fold. Bring the hands to heart center and fold down. Inhale, come halfway up, and as you do that, step the left foot back, bringing the knee to the earth. Raise the torso up into your low lunge. If you'd like, you can raise the arms up to the sky, or you can keep them on your knee, whatever works for you, and just pause here. Breathing. Try to keep the front knee over the ankle. So Mark, you want to bring your ankle a little bit further forward. And as you're in this pose, you want to envision the knee and the foot pulling towards each other to lift up in the groin. This can be a very intense pose. It may not look like, a ton, but as we all know, as we're feeling this, the low lunge can be extremely intense. So just breathe through it. Allow your back to arch. Allow yourself to lift with the heart. Try not to lead with the ribs. On the next exhale, bring the hands down to the earth, both sides. Step the foot back, coming into your plank. Pause here for a moment on your inhale. And on your exhale, we're going to come into Ashtanga Pranam. So you're going to lower the knees, chest, and chin to the earth. Really dig in with the toes here. And on your inhale, slide your body forward, coming into Cobra. Good. Exhale, roll over the tops of your feet, coming into Down Dog. Pause here for a moment. And on our next inhale, let's step the left foot forward between the hands, lower the right knee down to the earth, and come up for your low lunge. You can come up to the hands placed on the knee, or you can reach the hands to the sky. So for some people, they may want to just keep their hands on their knees, or maybe your hands stay down towards the earth. Some people may be able to reach all the way up. Just do whatever works for your body. And breathe. Sometimes we feel an urgency to get out of this pose. But as you feel that on your exhales, just try to settle in to yourself. Try to release that urgency. On the next exhale, bring the hands down to both sides of the foot. Curl the back toes under. Lift the back knee and step the back foot to the front foot and come into a forward fold. And just pedal it out. Release. Shifting around. Let's inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the hands all the way up to the sky. Do another back bend here, lifting with the heart. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Let's just pause here, shake everything out, release. So this next phase is where we're going to possibly want our block. So whatever prop you have that might help you get a little bit of lift off of the earth. Just go ahead and place that at the front of your mat, at the front left. So let's go ahead and take a wide step, stepping the left foot back. Let the back heel lift, all toes pointing forward. Bend the front knee, coming into a high lunge. Make sure your hips are square first, so maybe you want to bring your hands on your hips, make sure that they feel good, and whenever they're nice and sturdy, then lift your hands up to the sky. Keep that front knee bent over the ankle, breathing. So for people who are finding these poses to be quite challenging, you can always shorten your stance so that back foot can come in. If you want more of a challenge, the back foot can come further out. So you can adjust all of these standing poses depending on how much of a challenge you want on that front thigh, quad. Breathe here. Let's go ahead and bring the hands to the heart center. And from here we're going to transition. We're going to bring the right hand to the ground on the instep of the right foot. Good. Let the back heel rotate down and let the left hand reach up to the sky. So this front hand can be on your block or on anything to prop yourself up depending on how high you want to be. Just breathe here. You want to use the leverage of that front arm on the leg to really open your body up. Make sure your shoulder feels good, that right shoulder. If the knee's pressing too much on it, you may want to come up a bit higher using your block, or just rotate that shoulder back and become more firm in the shoulder. Do not have any pressure or pain on the shoulder. Breathing. Let's go ahead and lower that hand down. Replace the hand, letting the right hand lift up to the sky as the back heel lifts again. Now the right hand reaches up and you're in a twist. Breathe here, pause. Again, this hand that's on the earth can be on a block. That front hand can be on a block or anything to elevate you. You do not have to be this deep into the twist. From here, let's go ahead and drop the back knee down to the earth, and you can stay right here, or you can bring that hand to your lower back, allowing you to twist, or you can bend the knee, bringing the back heel towards the bum, and maybe you can reach that ankle or foot with the right hand. And just pause and breathe here. This is a very intense stretch on the quad, so just breathe into it. If you're feeling stable and you want to go even a little deeper in your twist, you're welcome to start shifting your weight a bit in that front foot. You can let this knee kind of come out a bit and let the outer edge of the foot bear that weight in the front. That will open the groin more and allow you to sink deeper in the hips. But make sure you're feeling nice and strong in this already before you do that. So we're going to gently make the way out of this without kind of springing. So release the foot and let it come gently down. Bring the front foot flat on the earth if it's not already there. Replace that front foot with the hand and step that foot back, coming into a plank. Good. From here, let's go ahead and drop down to the forearms. So you can do this however you'd like. Just come down to the forearms. Good. And so just start walking the feet in. So for Mark, he came into it through the down dog. So just walk the feet in, lifting the hips to the sky. You can look either down straight at the mat, or you can look back at your heels. But just breathe here. This is very intense on the shoulders. It's a great shoulder opener, especially when we've been working on the computer all day. Pause and breathe. And whenever you need to come into child's pose, just do so. That's where we'll all meet. And let's go ahead and do that. Mark, drop the knees, lower the bum towards the heels, and come into your child's pose. You can reach the hands back towards your feet to just release the shoulders. Pause here for a moment. Let's go ahead and reach the hands towards the front of the mat. Lift with the lower back and just roll your way up out of this. Curl the back toes under and come back into your down dog. Good. Let's lift the left foot up to the sky. Bend the knee and point the knee at the sky, really opening the hips. Re-square the hips. Bring the left knee in towards the left armpit. Really let your back round here as your weight shifts forward. Re-elongate that foot, pointing up to the sky again. And let's do that one more time. On the exhale, bend the knee, bring it in. Inhale, bring the foot up to the sky. And last time, bring it in one more time. Lift, lift, lift. And then we're going to step the foot between the hands. We're going to come up into our high lunge on this side. So raise up. Good. Keep that front knee over the ankle, back heel's lifted. This back leg is fully elongated, leading with the heart, not the ribs. Anytime you're in these poses, if you rotate the eye of the elbow in and the pinkies kind of up, that'll help open the shoulders. You can also always cactus the arms if your arms become tired or you just need that break. Bring the hands to the heart center. The left hand is going to come to the inside of the front foot as the back heel rotates down to the earth and the right hand reaches up to the sky. Again, you can use the block here with the front arm. Breathing. Trying to create as straight of a line as possible from the heel up. Good. Let's go ahead and lower that arm down. Replace, switch hands, bringing the left hand up to the sky as the back heel rotates up. Pausing here, breathing, twisting, gazing up if that feels good on your neck. And let's go ahead and drop the back knee down to the earth. Bring the left hand to the lower back. And you can use this leverage to twist further, Or you can bend the back knee, bringing the heel in towards the bum, maybe grabbing that foot with your hand. If you're feeling stable here, you're welcome to start shifting that front knee out a little bit as you tilt your weight to the outer edge of the foot. Make sure your knees feel strong here as you're doing this. Make sure that feels okay on your joints. Allow this to let you twist as deep as you possibly can, looking up to the sky. Let's go ahead and release this gently. Try not to spring out of it. Bring the hands to the front. Replace that front foot with the hand and step that foot back coming into your plank. Let's do this one more time where we drop down onto the forearms. This time we're going to clasp the hands together. Good. And we'll go ahead and walk the feet in as high as close as you'd like to your face. If you'd like to play with, you can play with lifting one foot at a time here if that feels good to you. Just breathe into your shoulders. If you are lifting one leg, you'll lift one, pause for a few moments, and then lift the other. Let's go ahead and drop the knees down to the earth, and we'll come into our child's pose again, letting the shoulders release as the hands reach back for the feet. Breathing deep into our child's pose. Reach the hands towards the front of the mat. And we'll transition out of this the same way we did last time. Just kind of roll up one vertebrae at a time, curl the toes under, and come back into your down dog. Lift the right foot up to the sky. Be careful for the glass mark. Bend the knee, bring it in towards the armpit. Lift that foot up to the sky again, and actually I forgot this time, so bend the knee, point the knee at the sky, stack the hips. Good. Re-square the hips, bring that knee into the armpit again, right armpit. Really lift here, extend the foot up to the sky. And we'll do that one more time. Bring the knee, bring it in, and then we're going to step that foot between the hands. And we're going to lower the back heel down. And we're going to come up into Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana 2. So lift the body up. Good. Front knee stays over the ankle. This back foot is either parallel with mat or slightly pigeon-toed in. Never pointing out. And breathe here. Nice deep breaths. Let's go ahead and straighten that front leg. Pivot the hips to the left as you reach forward with the right, lower the right hand down, reach the left hand to the sky, coming into your triangle pose. So for some people, if this is feeling very intense on your front knee, make sure you have a micro bend. Also, you can shorten the stance a little bit. Sometimes I feel it feels good to have this back foot slightly pigeon-toed in this pose. That's optional. So just pause wherever you are and breathe. In this pose, you want to try to keep the ribs as flat as you can. Many people come in way too deep in this pose where they have to completely round. You want to be as flat as possible in this pose. Try to keep the hips as aligned as possible, almost stacked on top of each other. And so as we come out of this pose, you want to really engage the obliques, and you want to try to lift. Pull yourself up with your arm coming out of this, engaging the whole core. Go ahead and do that, Mark. Lift yourself out of this. Good. Let the arms release, and we're going to shorten the stance, step the back foot forward. Good. All toes pointing forward. Because Mark's a bit tall and this glass is here, he's got to adjust. So come, yeah, all the way backwards. Perfect. So maybe for everyone, you might be at the center of your mat if you don't have space in front of you. If you do, then it doesn't matter where you are, as long as feet are on the mat. So from here, let's go ahead and reach the hands up to the sky. Come onto the tippy toes of the back foot. And try to keep this length through your entire body throughout this next posture. So begin to pivot your weight forward, and eventually this back foot will lift off of the earth. So you're coming into your Virabhadrasana 3. So for some of us, you don't have to come this low. You can just pause wherever you may be. Bring the hands to the heart center. If that hands extended feels too much for you, you can also leave them extended. I should have said that first, so this is just an option. Another option is to reach the hands back towards the foot. So just pause wherever you are and breathe. Good. And let's go ahead and release the extended lifted foot towards the other foot, and we'll just fold. Pedal the weight around, shift your weight around. Breathing. Let's inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the hands up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's take a wide stance, stepping the left foot forward and right foot back, coming into your warrior 2. So the front knee's over the ankle, the back foot is either parallel with the mat or slightly pigeon-toed in. Breathing, keeping the torso in line with the hips, gazing over the left hand, shoulders stay down and released. Pausing, breathing. As we're in this pose, try to envision you're opening up like a star. That front knee's pulling away from the back hand, front hand's pulling away from the back ankle. And let's go ahead and straighten that front knee. Pivot the hips to the right and reach forward with the left hand, bringing it down as the back hand reaches up for the sky. So this front hand can come to the earth, or it can just rest anywhere on your leg. Try to maintain the flat back through the side. Try not to bow. Come as flat as you can here. Try to keep the hips as in line as possible, which is relatively challenging to do in this pose. Pause and breathe. And on our next inhale, we're going to use our obliques and our core, plus our arm to really lift ourselves out of this pose. Good. And let's shorten the stance. For you, coming to the center of your mat. All toes pointing forward. Let the back heel begin to lift as you come onto your tippy toes, reach the hands to the sky. Get that length through the whole body. Good. And then let's go ahead and just pivot on the hips and start bringing the body forward as the back heel lifts. So again, you can keep the arms elongated. You don't have to come all the way down like this. You can also have the hands at prayer, or you can reach the hands towards the back foot, whatever works for you. This is our balancing pose, a very strengthening, challenging pose as well. Bring the hands to the heart, step the foot down to meet the other foot, and let's just release, shake it off. Okay. So let's go ahead and, actually I guess that's probably good, you facing the front of the, go ahead and face the front still, that's fine. Okay, so from here, we're gonna go ahead and bend the knees and begin to lower yourself down, bringing your hands to the earth with the knees deeply bent. So try to get your knees at the back of your armpits here. We're gonna transition into crow pose. So bring the knees as close as you can to the armpits. Good. And so everyone may not be able to do this pose. This pose can be challenging, it's a little bit more advanced. Sorry, that was me sweeping at a fly. Not just making crazy arm movements. But just go wherever you can with this. So you're going to lift the heels and come onto the tippy toes, creating as small of a little ball as you can here. And once you have that strong placement of the knees on the back of the armpits, you're going to begin to pull your head forward, transitioning all of your weight forward, engaging your core, and seeing if maybe one foot at a time can lift. Maybe both feet lift, but if your toes, if you're just playing with lifting toes at a time, that's completely fine. Just play with that. Go wherever you are in this arm balance. If you're there, you want to start working on straightening your arms as much as you can, just to be as advanced as possible in this pose. That would be, and it's obviously very challenging to do. And whenever you're ready, you can transition out of this by bringing the feet back down. Good. And let's go ahead and have a seat on the mat. Let's lay flat on our backs. Bend the knees. Bring the feet to the earth. Good. Place the hands, the palms flat on the earth. And we're going to transition to our bridge pose. So for some of us, we like to have different distances. I know Mark likes to bring his heels in close to his fingertips. I like to have my heels a little bit further out. Unfortunately, if this is your first time doing it, you don't know what your preference is. So you can play with bringing the heels in towards the fingertips and see if that feels good to you. So from here, you're going to tuck your tailbone and begin to lift one vertebrae at a time, just rolling yourself off of the mat. Good. And once you're fully up, you're welcome to clasp the hands underneath you, pressing the fists into the earth, kind of roll the shoulders a bit further beneath you. When you're in any of these poses, try not to look around much. You don't want to kink your neck. And just pause here and breathe. Envision the knees pulling away from the shoulders, so you're lengthening through the front of the body. It's not all in the glutes. Of course, you're going to be engaging your glutes here, but it's not all about the glutes. You're actually trying to lengthen through the front of the body and really get that lift. Envision the tailbone lifting, or I'm sorry, the belly button, the pelvis lifting up to the sky. Make sure your toes are pointing forward. Marks are, those are good. So you want to have completely straight feet, toes pointing forward. Pause here and breathe. And let's go ahead and release that clasp of the hands. And roll down one vertebrae at a time, starting with the top and going down. Good. And just pause here for a moment. We're going to do this one more time, but we're just going to take a little breather. And then we'll go ahead and we'll set up to do this again. So you're going to roll up, tucking the tailbone one vertebrae at a time until you have as much lift as you would like. If you would like, you can clasp the hands beneath the back, pressing the fists into the earth. Breathing. Make sure that you have a little bit of space between your chin and your chest, so you don't want to have your chest completely pressing into your neck. Don't forget to breathe here, deep inhales and exhales, keeping that lift through the front of the body. Try not to over-engage the glutes. Let's go ahead and release the clasp with the hands, and we'll roll out of this one vertebrae at a time. So we're going to do this one more time. If you have a full wheel in your practice, you're welcome to do that. Do you want to do wheel, Mark, or no?
Oh, yeah.
Well, Mark's going to go ahead and give wheel a try, whatever I want. If not, I was just going to leave it for whoever had that advancement in their posture, in their practice. But we'll go ahead and try it. So this back bend is a bit advanced. So if you were just dying in those bridge poses, I don't encourage you to try the wheel. But if you feel like you're ready for that, let's go ahead and do it. So bend your elbows, bring your hands to the earth by your ears. Your fingertips are going to be pointing back and towards your shoulders. Good. So as we transition through this pose, which don't do it yet, Mark, I'm going to have him come up and pause on his head for just a second. When you do that, do not bear weight on your head. It's just for you to rebalance for a second. If that's already struggling for you, then just immediately come back down. So you're going to want to bring your feet in as close as you're comfortable, then being towards your bum. So if you've done this before and you've struggled with this, the wider your hands are, the easier it actually is with flexibility on your shoulders and upper back. And you can also take your feet a little bit wider too if you struggle with this pose. So let's go ahead and come halfway up, just peeling the back up, and then bring the top of the head to the earth. Do not bear weight. Readjust, and then lift all the way up. See if you can bring your pelvis to the sky, and just breathe here. Pausing, this is extreme. Whenever you need to come out of this, just go ahead and come out of it. If you can hold it for a few breaths, please do so. And let's go ahead and make our way out of this. Try not to bear any weight on your head, just roll your way out. Good. Pause here. The lower back pressing into the earth. We will work out that lower back if it's feeling tight. Take the feet wide on the mat, and let's let the knees drop to the right. Bring them up to center, and we'll drop into the left. Let's do that one more time. Pause here for a moment. The knees go to the right, then the left. Bring them up to center. Gently, gently here, slowly bring the knees in towards the chest. Go very slow, make sure it feels good to you. And if that feels good, you're welcome to wrap your hands around the knees, giving yourself a hug. Take your time here, make sure it feels good to you. So from here, we're going to make our way up to a seated position. I'd like Mark to do that through rocking, if that feels good to you. So just begin to rock. If this doesn't feel good, just come up to a seat. Let's go ahead and face the camera, Mark. We'll take our feet nice and wide. Do you want me to? Okay, perfect. So if you're on hard floor, it may kind of hurt your heels to have the feet nice and wide. So Mark just kind of scooted back so that his heels are on his mat. So for some of us, this might be enough intensity. So we're going to engage the back and try to sit up nice and tall. So you can have your hands behind you on the earth, helping you erect your spine. Sitting nice and tall. Pausing for a moment, letting yourself kind of open into this before we begin to fold into it. If it's feeling extremely intense and you're feeling it in a particular spot, then just kind of massage that spot. If you're feeling it behind your knee, or maybe you're feeling it in a particular location, just give it a massage. My nose is itching like crazy. And then we'll bring the hands in the front. Inhale, lengthen, keep the spine flat throughout this entire pose. And as you exhale, begin to walk the hands forward, keeping the chest lifted. So envision your chest staying upright as you tilt forward, and just come as low as feels good to you, as long as you can maintain that flat back and the toes continue to point up to the sky. You don't want them to start flopping in. So some people may be able to come all the way down in this pose. Some people may need to stay all the way upright and not even reach the hands forward. Just maintain that flat back. Breathing. Go ahead and lift ourselves out of this. Bring the hands beneath the knees and kind of help yourself lifting, bending the knees, bringing them back to the center. Good. Extend the right foot out, bringing the left foot to the groin. Let that knee come down to the earth. Jani Shasana. So square your torso so that your foot is right at the center of your chest. Inhale, lengthen, flatten your back. Exhale, fold. Keep a flat back in this pose. You're not going to round. Good. So with each inhale, your back lengthens. With each exhale, you fold. So you might just be folding down by another centimeter or so as you continue to go forward. So that's difference. We did this pose yesterday with Mark and we rounded into this pose. It's just a different variation of the same pose. So today we're doing it with a flat back. So if you have it in your practice, if you're coming down quite a bit more than Mark, then you're welcome to walk your hands forward. Maybe they can reach all the way for your foot as long as the back can stay flat. You'll need to maintain that flat back all the way down regardless of where your hands can go. Every inhale you lengthen, with each exhale maybe you just go a hair deeper. And let's go ahead and inhale, walk the hands back up. And we'll switch legs, extending the opposite leg. Bring the opposite foot towards the groin. Get the foot at the center of the chest by kind of twisting your torso. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, walk the hands forward. Just going as low as you would like, whatever works for your back to maintain that flatness. Again, if you're already relatively low, you're welcome to reach for your foot, maintaining the flat back. Let's go ahead and inhale, walk our way out of this. Bend the knee, bring that foot in. And from here we're going to do a bit of a hip stretch. So if you want to face towards the front of the camera, Mark. So place your front, we'll start off with the left ankle on the earth. Yeah. And so you want to get your front shin parallel with the mat. So whichever way you're facing, try to get that as parallel as possible. Keep that ankle flexed. The left ankle on the bottom is fully flexed to protect the knee. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your right ankle and you're going to stack it on top of this knee. And so your right knee may be all the way up like Mark's. It may be able to come all the way down. You could be anywhere between. You should be feeling this on your right hip. So just inhale and breathe into that. If you're having quite a bit of flexibility here, then on your exhales you can start bringing your chest forward. If your knees far up like Mark's is, then just pause where you are and just breathe into the hip. You don't need to bring the chest forward. With each inhale, breathing into the hip. With each exhale, just envision the tension releasing. Just go ahead and make your way out of this, bearing your hands on the earth, tilting backwards and just uncrossing. Take the feet wide. Good, and let's just windmill the knees from side to side first before we set up to do the other side. Okay, let's go ahead and set up for our opposite side. So that was going to be your right foot on the bottom, right? Yeah. I know it's that's the one you lost. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so his right knee is on the bottom. So you want to try to keep this front shin parallel with the earth or with the mat. Ankles are flexed to protect the knee. Getting the length first, and if your knee is down quite a bit lower, then as you exhale, just begin to shift your torso forward. Breathe into the hip. With each inhale, releasing any tension on the exhales. We'll begin to make our way out of this, bringing the hands behind you to support some of your weight, tilting backwards, releasing the legs down. Take the feet wide, let them windshield side to side. Okay. Let's go ahead and come to lying flat on the mat. And from here, we're gonna get into our shoulder stand, so our inversion. So for some of us, we may not wanna do shoulder stand. If you're not comfortable with that, you can just come to the wall, bring your feet up the wall, or maybe you want to just lift your feet to the sky, place a pillow beneath your bum while your feet lift to the sky, or we can come into shoulder stand. So I'm gonna walk through that. If you've never done it before and you wanna try it, please watch Mark first, because this is not a pose that you wanna look around in while you're in it. It will definitely hurt your neck, so do not look around while you're in this pose. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up for shoulder stand. Bend the knees. Is this a comfortable distance for you? Do you wanna scoot down a little bit more, Mark, so I'm not blocking you? Yeah. Okay. So pressing your hands firm into the earth, try to get some momentum as you lift your knees up and begin to rock them up. Bring your hands to your lower back. Bring your hands to your lower back. The elbows are digging into the ground, and support yourself on your hands. If this feels good to you, begin to lift your feet up to the sky. So you see you're supporting yourself, you have a little bit of space here. So if you're not sure about this and you don't want to come all the way up, you can also stick the bum out more, bring the feet, elongate the legs, yes, closer to like a 45-degree angle where you're resting more of your weight into your hands. That way you're not bearing so much weight on your neck. So you can be in this, or you can do the full extension of it, Mark. You want to lift the feet up to the sky. So go ahead and get into that if you're going to get into this pose at all. Take a few breaths here. This pose is actually great for lowering blood pressure. It's also great for headaches. Breathe. If you have plow in your practice, you can transition through that. For those of us that would like to try that, essentially you're going to lower your feet down towards the earth. Maybe the toes come all the way down. If so, you kind of use that as leverage to keep the tailbone lifted. Go ahead and clasp your hands together and dig those into the mat if you're in plow pose. You're going to use the leverage of the fist pressing into the mat to kind of get that lift through the body, through the torso. And if you'd like to move to the next pose, you can go ahead and bend the knees, lifting the feet off the ground, letting the knees come either to the forehead or towards the ears for a full contortion of Mark. I don't think I've ever seen him in this pose before. I guess I'm always doing it with you. So we're going to make our way out of this pose the same way we came in, essentially transitioning back through shoulder stand. So as you transition out of this, at a certain point, you're going to want to bring your hands back to your lower back and begin to lift your feet up to the sky. And you're going to use the hands on the lower back to really lift yourself down out of this pose. So don't just flop down. Come down with control. Good. And let's lay flat on the back. Allow yourself to look from side to side gently here. Just kind of release the neck a bit. Bringing the head back to neutral. Bend the right knee and place the right foot on the left thigh. Bring the hips to the right just by an inch or so, and let the knee cross over the body, allowing yourself to line a twist. Open your arms like a T. If it feels good to you, the front left hand can come to the knee. If not, just keep them extended. And just lie here in your twist. Allow your gaze to go to the right. Let's make our way out of this, elongating the leg, stretching the right leg back out, realigning the hips. Bring the left foot to the right thigh. Bring the hips to the left just by an inch or so. Let the knee cross to the inside of the body. Arms open like a T, or the right arm can reach for that knee, gazing to your left. And let's go ahead and make our way out of this, coming to our back. Bend the knees. Bring the knees in towards the chest. Bring the hands to the instep of the foot as you let the knees open, transitioning into your happy baby, just pulling the knees down. So this is the last pose we're doing, so if there's any pose you'd like to do instead, go ahead and do that now before your Shavasana. This is the last thing we're doing, kind of massaging the lower back by rocking and shifting around, pressing the lower back into the earth. And then let's go ahead and open up for our Shavasana. Letting the arms lie naturally beside you. Taking a deep inhale, letting the eyes close. And as you exhale, just envision the tension releasing from your body, releasing the furrow between your brow, releasing your eyes, your eye sockets, releasing your jaw, letting the tongue rest, releasing your ear, your inner ear, releasing the shoulders, and releasing the control over the breath.